myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm
Pacers were going to make the playoffs. It didn't end so well for you, brother.
If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we live in different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool.
You fell asleep at the trade deadline when we had a trade to get Kyle Lowry out of here.
Found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running. Toes they gonna take it.
This is what we got to tell.
Every fan doing this.
I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I'm paying the cost. I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to another rendition of. They thought it was the HOA edition of Refuse to Lose. That's what's going on today. We also got our brother Coach, FFC Coach, with us too. He's backstage right now, but when he come up, we gonna actually have him come up, tell him a little bit about FFC. We got my man CTC Carl here. Coach, make sure you get your background back up, and then we got you, man. But before we get into the how you doings, the welcomings, we gotta tell y'all how this show is gonna go today. First things first, this is the HOA edition of the episode, so no disrespect towards the HOA will be tolerated in the comments. If we see any disrespect towards the HOA, we will not bring that up on the stage unless you want to drop a dollar sign behind it, you know? But outside of that, I know you all see the banners below. I know you see the tickets and everything like that. Follow us on all the social media platforms. The only social media platform that's different is X/Twitter. That's at R2L Sports. That's R, the number 2L Sports. Follow us on there. And today we're going to talk about some AFC North conversations. You know, we got, is this a must win for Burrow tonight? You know, Burrow and the Bengals. But then another conversation, I think it came from Unfazed, and now it's spilling over into the R2L episode as well. We got Carl on here to talk about it. Is this a must win game for Lamar's MVP chances? I know they had the chat shaking up earlier. And then we also got to talk about who needs this win more, the Steelers or the Commanders. I mean, both of them off the hot starts. Both of them are trying to make their way to the playoffs. I mean, technically they are in the playoffs. One team is locked in, not the Super Bowl though. And then we also got to do our segment where we do the upset alerts. So we're gonna bring our FFC coach up, man. Coach, what's going on, Coach?
Hey, fella, what's good? What's good? It's been a while.
Man. Now, like this cast here, I know a lot of people are watching. In the background, they got a lot to say about my fantasy football team and how we keep winning. But how y'all doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing wonderful.
Doing good, man. Ready for Thursday night football, man.
See, look. And there's one comment that's already down there that we not going to, I guess he didn't listen to the house rules. House rules, man. You don't come up here if you don't talk too much about us. But make sure y'all like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
I'll stop you real quick. I don't think that one was trash talk, bro. We can let that one slide.
Okay, I gotta look at. Oh yeah, nope. That's perfect because he's talking about the last two people that's trying to move in.
We can let that one slide.
There you go. My bad, Ty. Happy birthday, Ty, too. In the red corner, Ty, that is. And like we said, you can be a part of the conversation. We got the comments down below. Shout out to our brother Daniel. Hey, what's up, man? And then we also got, like I said, happy birthday, Ty. 130 in the red corner. Pistons not looking like the worst team right now. It's a tie between the Bucks and the 76ers. Trash. That's only because they keep disrespecting us in the NBA chat.
Can't disrespect the HOA, man.
Man, with that being said, let's get right to it, man. Let's talk some football right quick, man. Thursday night, the game is about to start in less than probably 45, maybe 40 minutes. My time may be a little bit off. But the Bengals, it's been a rough patch for them. They got the rookies going at each other. They got Chase saying he not even going to say nothing to one of the rookies in the locker room because he a grown man. Then you got Joe Burrow coming in with the blonde hair all of a sudden. It's just like, what's going on? Is he going to get paid? Is he not going to get paid? T. Higgins, Chase. It's so much. You would have thought the Cincinnati Bengals was the Dallas Cowboys, but good thing they not, because they definitely flying under the radar. However, they got to play the Ravens. It's another division game. They're looking like they're trying to fight. They're 4-5 right now. Is this a must-win for the Bengals, coach?
Who won the first matchup?
We did.
Then yes, absolutely. Here's why. Simply because, do you understand in that first matchup that they played? If you watch my show, I just pretty much ran over the Ravens defense this year. Like, they have not been the Ravens secondary, the Ravens defense that we know of old. And I'm not even talking Ray Lewis. I'm talking about how they were able to sustain being the best defense in the world after that stint. You know what I mean? There comes this time where things change, organizational pieces move on, and then there's a chance where you have to start over. Are they in a rebuild mode? I don't think they're in a rebuild mode, but they're in a mode where this defense needs to learn how to play together because there are so many different pieces on this defense trying to come together. You saw it in the first game against the Chiefs. They ran the same play 4 times in each of the 4 quarters. It got picked off one time because Patrick Mahomes threw it off his back foot. That was it. But that was the same play that they ran 4 other times in each of the 4 quarters. The same play. They just ran it right up the middle, or they threw it right up the middle of the secondary of the Ravens. That's never done. You don't do that. You know, you should fear the secondary of putting the ball in places like that against the Ravens. They're just not that anymore. And for them to be able to beat the Bengals in the first matchup with the secondary not being as strong as something that we're used to, mind you, with the secondary that are with the receiving core that we know the Bengals to have, it's going to be kind of harder, I think, for the Bengals to come out with this win against a defense that has gotten better as these weeks have progressed. Those first 4 weeks looked ugly, and then that defense just started putting it together. Are they better? I call them middle of the pack. I don't think they're top 10. And then that's something we're used to seeing out of the Ravens defense year after year after year after year. Doesn't matter if they're number 1. It doesn't matter if they're 10, but they're in the top 10. So now they're outside of that. This is something we're not accustomed to, and they're playing good football still. This is a must-win for Burrow because, man, look, since this kid came in the league, I've used the words overrated a few times. I've let the talks of his offensive line be bad happen. I've let the talks of the run game be bad happen. I've let the talks of whatever you want to use to hide other things in this Bengals organization, i.e. Burrow. I've let it happen. And then he had one good year that he took the Bengals to the Super Bowl, which, man, he should have won. They made Ramsey eat the dirt twice in that game, man. If only he could have just get that ball out of his hand. That's a touchdown. I mean, it would have been beautiful. But Aaron Donald needed that Super Bowl more. Outside of that year, where has Burrow been? Injured.
AFC Championship the next year.
Huh?
He went to the AFC Championship the next year.
Did he start off injured that year? It was the preseason. That was that preseason scare before he got played.
No, that was
last year, right? He got played last year?
After the Super Bowl, he went to the AFC Championship.
And then
then it was a scare. So he had 2 years. He had 2 good years without injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I just want to make sure I'm clarified. But outside of that, they start slow. They get to the playoffs. That's fine. But for me, the Bengals they gave Burrow a lot of money, and yet they have yet to address this defense. This is another year with Burrow with a bad offensive line and a bad defense. Like you're throwing money at the wrong area, and he's not winning the Super Bowl this way. I've never seen a quarterback win a Super Bowl without a defense. Go ask Tom Brady. Go ask Peyton Manning. Go ask Drew Brees. Go ask Aaron Rodgers. Okay, go ask
Patrick
Mahomes. I mean, you're not winning a Super Bowl without a running game in the defense. You don't have to have the number 1 defense to win the Super Bowl. you have to have at least the top 15. You have to be able to take the ball away. You have to be able to make important stops when it's needed. You have to be able to step up in big moments. That doesn't need you don't need to be number one for that. You know what I mean? For me, the Bengals are just going around in circles every year. And this is just going to be, for me, another circle because if this is a must win, it's not going to happen. And it's not going to be a trajectory of losses. But look at the Pittsburgh Steelers right now with that defense. arguably could be tied for number one with the Chiefs, or you can just one is two. But those two are the top two defenses right now. And if the Bengals do not win tonight, they're not getting past Pittsburgh. So that is then where the trickling of the Bengals start to roll off, and it's just they're going to miss the playoffs again. That's to me. That's if they lose tonight's game against the Ravens, ultimately this results in them missing out in the playoffs.
Carl?
I agree that this game is bigger for the Bengals. The Bengals are currently sitting at 4-5 right now. A loss will put them at 4-6. Yep. If we lose, which hopefully we don't, that would put us at 6-4. We would still be in the playoff picture right now. If the season would end, even if we lose, we still would make the playoffs, and we still are. We would still only be two games behind the Steelers, really 2.5, I think. But we would be 2 games behind the Steelers for first place, while we still have 2 matchups against the Steelers. So that game is definitely a must-win for the Bengals, not only for playoff purposes, but I mean, I'm looking at the AFC, and although the AFC is weak, the Chargers are sitting at 5-3. Excuse me. The Broncos are sitting at 5-4. We're at 6-3. The Texans are 6-3. Steelers are 6-2. Bills 7-2, and we know the Chiefs are 8-0. If we lose, we'll still be in that pack. The Bengals lose, they got a lot of ground to catch up. A lot of ground. So this is a must-win for the Bengals, but hopefully they don't win.
Well, this actually is a must-win for the Bengals, but the next question it's kind of like these questions are twofold because we got to ask about Lamar with this game, right? So for me, it's definitely a must-win because of the same reasons why I said my Cowboys season is over. You lose this game, now you what? I think they already lost to y'all, so that's 0-1. I think they lost to the Browns already. I was trying to bring up their actual division record right now. And right now, no, they're just 1-1.
They beat the Browns.
Yeah,
I think they beat the Browns.
All right, so they're 1-1 right now, but then you're 1-2 in the division, and then like you just said with the playoff standings, how it is right now, and they're currently in the 9th seed. You lose this, now you got to try to catch up with the Colts, who probably get hot because now they figured out my bad. I'm not tapping myself out the game. I'm just letting y'all know I'm a little tired right now. But then also you got to deal with the Broncos, who are still finding their way. So this whole AFC part, this picture right here with the AFC is like there's a lot of teams in the mix that you wouldn't think would normally be in the mix. And you also dealing with a Bengals team who is they just emotionally frustrated at times. And with that trade with Khalil Herbert, that probably helps their running game, but will it help after you with another loss? Probably not, because now you're looking at it like, well, we're just playing for next season because there's no chance for us to do that. Now you never know. The Steelers may fall off. So I'm not saying your season is over, but it's definitely a must win if you're trying to stay in that playoff race. We good? Look like that's the type of panels I like right here, where we just go right next to it, because this is going to be even more funnier because we got to talk about stacking Jackson. He's just stacking MVPs. He's just stacking accolades. He's just stacking stats, stacking more fan bases. You've seen what he did when the little girl made him the friendship bracelet. That was that wholesome side of Lamar Jackson. A lot of people, man, that should have been on ESPN, but we're not going to talk too much about it. They like to talk about the negative side of things. So look, we talked about this being a must-win for the Bengals. However, Joe feels as though you can't win an MVP if you're in the 5th seed. So you can't lose this game, Action Jackson. Is this a must-win call for Lamar Jackson's MVP chances?
No, because the season don't end if he loses. No, he's still going to have multiple opportunities to prove why he's the MVP. As long as he plays well and wins ball games, he'll be fine. But this ain't an end-all, be-all game. No, I disagree. I just don't think this is an end-all, be-all game. He could play well, we lose. Oh, well, we still have 7 more games to win and to play well to get his 3rd MVP. Would you like to win this game? Absolutely. Obviously, you want to win this game to keep pace with the Steelers and take over the division with 1 point. But to call it a must-win for an MVP, no.
Coach?
I'm gonna say a little bit if he loses. Now it will depend on numbered wise. Coach is big on the numbers. Like if Lamar Jackson goes out with a 300 something yard game and 4 touchdowns, absolutely, it's still gonna. That's actually gonna vote well for him in a loss and for MVP status. If he has bad numbers in this game in a loss, I think it could actually wrinkle it a little bit. Only because they did have the slow start with losing. I know they got, they galloped and got on their back, but you got to understand something too. He's got Henry over there who is running amok, who could actually challenge for MVP. That's his teammate. You have Jalen Hurst, who's actually playing really, really good football. But also his running back is playing so much good football that it could get to a point, as long as they're winning and their numbers are doing the same thing, that he could have challenges for MVP. I don't think it's actually a clear cut or I do think he has to continue to stack. Like tonight's game and the divisional win, this actually helps push him above the rest for MVP status. If he loses tonight against Burrow, it kind of just sticks him in the pack with the rest of the names for MVP. So that's what I mean by it wrinkles it just a tad.
So right now, and the odds, I looked at these. This was from yesterday, so they may have changed just a little bit. So right now they got Lamar Jackson. You got.
No, I can take it. Go ahead. Do you think?
All right, cool. I would say currently at 280 to win the MVP. Then they got Josh Allen at plus 300. They got Patrick Mahomes at plus 400. Jared Goff at plus 700. They got Jaden Daniels. So the source that I got, they had Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts tied for plus 1,200. Which I know a lot of Commander fans are going to be like, well, why would they have Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels tied? Well, if you think about how Jalen Hurts has been playing after that bye week, like you said, Coach, they've been running the ball and he's been more efficient with his passing. So that right there is probably why it jumped him up into that caliber. But for me,
I got the odds whenever you're ready.
All right, go ahead, read them out.
So favorite right now at plus 250 is Josh Allen.
Right,
then
so
right behind him is Lamar Jackson at plus 280. Behind him is Patrick Mahomes at plus 450. And this is the most insane part. Jared Goff is fourth by plus 800.
You want to know why?
That was the most insane.
Because of that stupid 18 for 18. That's the only reason why. I promise you that's the only reason why.
Hold on. I don't want to take this show somewhere else, but if you're saying Jared Goff should be lower, then me and you disagree completely. But I don't want to take this show somewhere else.
Let's stick with the same topics.
I was gonna say we can go there.
Nah,
out of respect that he is playing great football, I'm gonna leave it alone. But I'm just saying, I really just feel like that's really because of that 18 for 18.
Okay, well, let me answer this because I know Carl won't call like, all right, now got the author fist going right now. But for me, I don't think this is a must-win game for his MVP chances because again, Lamar's had MVP moments. What do we always talk about and refuse to lose? That MVP moment. The first game against the Bengals, he showed that MVP moment where it's like, I can go out there. You need me an OT? All right, I'm gonna scramble to the side, throw it up. Even the ball man was like, that's a bad boy. Walked off and did that. Then the next game, what did he do? The next game was Tampa Bay, right?
After the Bengals. I think after that was the Commanders.
After the Commanders, you see what he did? He kind of humbled them a little bit. Then he turned around. Right. And then he turned around and then he did then that's when he played Tampa Bay, right? And he threw the 5 touchdowns.
Who was after the Commanders? After the Commanders, that wasn't Cleveland. After the Commanders was
I think that was Tampa Bay.
That was week 7. Was Tampa Bay week? What's this, week 10? Week 9 was Broncos. Yeah, that was Tampa Bay. And then week 8 was Cleveland.
See what I'm saying? All I know is this game not going to hurt him, but the way he keep playing in my fantasy leagues, and I put an S on that, he's my MVP regardless because the boy is just showing up. Now, if he looks bad in this game, let's say, knock on wood, you had multiple interceptions and the game comes down to why they lost is because of Lamar. Yes, that hurts him. However, I don't think he's going to play like that because he's more focused this year. He actually has the run game to support him. You all are providing him with more weapons. Zay Flowers is showing up in big moments. So there's too many reasons for him to play good versus why he would play bad. Unless it's just like
out of his Thursday night.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like a random moment. But for me, I don't think this is a must win. Now you come back next week. Who y'all play next week?
Who, us? We play
Yeah.
the Steelers next Sunday.
All right, now you go against them because now because you win this one. Now you got the division on the line, depending upon what they do with the Commanders. And he played bad. I would say that would be more of a must win MVP chances because it's like it's more on the line for the division and just your playoff, not even playoffs, but locking in seeding.
Not locking in, but I can see what you're saying. Like there's more at stake. I can feel
There
that.
you go.
And plus, if he plays well against the Steelers, which Javon likes to say all the time, which is true, and I hate it, but it's true, he does tend to play bad against the Steelers. So
everybody does. Oh, for Ty, he said something about Mahomes. How is Mahomes on the list and that high? Because if you take Mahomes off the Chiefs, they're 0-6. That's why.
0-8.
0-8. They're 0-8.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. The way Mahomes,
they might have 2 wins. They might have 2 wins or wins.
It depends. If you replace Mahomes with even a decent, not decent, but with a starting, what am I trying to say? A starting caliber quarterback this year, not on period, but just this year, they could go 8-0. They've been winning a lot despite Mahomes. But again, I don't want to take it too far. I'm gonna just say that and keep it pushing. If the game come on at 8:15, I'm not trying to miss this.
Hey, look. I don't know, man. The fans are saying they done told me call for
hey,
audible.
Look, bro, the fans ain't got a team that play tonight. I do.
Well, we got a super chat, man. I gotta read the super chat, man. So shout out to Ty with the 199 super chat. He says, "So where would you put?" Ty's good. You gotta answer this. A super chat.
I'm gonna answer the question, but then
so where would you put?
Pushing.
All right, so shout out to Ty once again. Happy birthday, 199. Right. So where would you put Goff in that MVP ladder?
I'm putting them second. I've been putting them second for a while. I had them second for a while. I know Coach said fifth. I'm putting them second, bro. If you want to argue about it, we can talk about it in the chats. I got a game to watch, baby. We got two more topics. We got some time after the show. We can get into it. We got.
I mean, you know what? I mean, if you putting them over what? Josh Allen and
I'm putting them over everybody but Lamar.
Everybody but Lamar.
Josh Allen.
He had 18 for 18. I can't take it away. Numbers don't lie. Numbers is what puts you in MVP. You know, is what helps your MVP numbers. And again, that 18 for 18, you can't take it away. So, I mean, by numbers, I wouldn't argue putting him second.
All right, we're gonna say that for last. Let's go.
If we got time at the end of the show, we can do it.
No. Don't worry about it. We about to make time. The fans is asking for. We got to give the people what they asking for. So what we gonna do is shout out to Bibby because this one right here, I was thinking of funny titles for this next topic, and I was like, well, I know Commanders fans always say the Steelers is their second team. Steelers fans are like, why would y'all even have a second team? You should just like the team that you like. However, when the Steelers were going undefeated, I think that was in 2020, the one team that beat them was the Commanders, or at that time, the Washington football team, or Washington fantasy football team, because that was a flash in the pan there. And that's I'm taking shots at you, Mark. But the beat must go on. Who needs this win more, the Steelers or the Commanders? Coach.
The Steelers. The Steelers need this game a little bit more. Only because right now they're in what? Are they in first place in their division or second?
Steelers in first.
First. They both
in
first.
They both in first.
They're both okay. So you have to win this game for the simple fact you got to beat the Ravens next week. It's if you're trying to win the division, right? This ain't week 1, this ain't week 5, right? We trying to get in the playoffs now. So everything against this team is it's business, and we're trying to run through them because our main focus right now is a divisional rivalry game next week that is for first place. This is why this is very important for the Ravens to win tonight. Like these are have to wins because next week is fight for number 1, point blank period. So this is a must win for the Steelers.
Carl,
I didn't think me and Coach was going to agree, but the Steelers. I got the Steelers, man, and my angle is because the Steelers have yet to play a divisional game at all. So with that being said, you want to stack as many non-divisional wins as possible before you get into divisional play. The Commanders, they have 2 divisional wins already. So they have a leg up in terms of like their division, while the Steelers, they have a leg up in terms of wins. But if they lose, they don't have no divisional wins to back that. The Commanders lose, they got divisional wins to back that. Also, I look at the Steelers' schedule. They play Commanders, obviously. We're talking about it now. After that, they play us. After that, they play the Browns. After that, they play the Bengals. After that, they play the Browns again. Then the Eagles. Then the Ravens again. Then the Chiefs. And then the Bengals. That's a tough schedule.
Oh my God!
Why they set up like that?
4.
We didn't notice this shit now, right?
4 divisional games back to back to back to
That's what
back.
I'm saying. Why
And
would
then
they
you
do
come
that?
out of that and you play the Eagles, and then it's another divisional game with us, and then you have the Chiefs, and you finish off with a divisional game, obviously, because everybody plays divisional games at the end of the year now. But that's a tough schedule. I would say that's tougher than what the Commanders are going to face. As I look at the Commanders' schedule, the Commanders have, obviously, the Steelers. Then the Eagles, divisional game. Cowboys is a divisional game, but even the Cowboys fans have given up on their season. So, Cowboys.
I was waiting for you to skip that one.
Dak
Go
said
ahead.
hop off. Dak said hop off.
Sorry,
He
HOA,
should have never said that, bro. He should have never said that.
My man, I'm sorry. Dak said we suck, bro. So I'm sorry.
You said
But
and hop off.
This is a quotable year for Dak. He was like, jump off if you want to. Go ahead, jump off. But he's like, all right, by week 5, it's like, you sure about that?
They gonna
but
push
after
him
the
off.
Cowboys, they got the Titans, they have the Saints, Eagles divisional game, Falcons, and Cowboys. So I would say the Steelers have a much tougher road to the playoffs than the Commanders. The Commanders can gain ground if they lose to the Steelers. They can win some divisional games, like I said. They can beat up on the Saints and the Titans. And they can gain ground by possibly beating the Falcons. But the Steelers, they got a tough road ahead. So I think the Steelers need this more.
See, I didn't think we always gonna come on here and actually agree, because I was listening to a song before this came up, and I was like, for copyright infringements, I'm gonna have to change up the wording a little bit. But for those who think Commander fans have gone too far, you think they've gotten a little too radical with their expectations? Well, I got something for you, because if they win on Sunday, they taking it to a whole nother level. Like, you ain't heard nothing yet. So that right there is why I need the Steelers to win this game, and that's why it's more important to me. Okay, for me that the Steelers need to win it. Now, what they do after this game, hey, that's a bumpy road, because I don't even know why the football guys even set y'all up that way. Where you got 4 divisional games back to back, you get a break with a tough NFC East team, and then you got to go right back to the AFC North and fight it out again. So again, and looking at the Commanders again, we talked about it yesterday. Nobody really thought they was gonna be here. Like, I had them winning 7 games. I ain't have them winning 7, being 7-1, number 2 in the conference, like 7 games. But the 7-2. But I'm just saying the 7 games that they won is just I got man, the 2 games that they lost. Me and Joe went back and forth about that already, because they can't beat tough teams. So this is why, another reason why the Steelers need to win this game, because they showed that if a team is more competitive or ready or playoff worthy-esque, that they can give Commanders fits.
That Bears defense is tough, and they almost lost to that Bears defense.
I mean,
with one for a Hail Mary pass.
You know what? A favorite quote is, if the if was a fifth, what we be. So, but they got it. They won. Here we go again. They got to prove it again. And they got the terrible towels matching and everything. There's just so much going on with this game. So the Steelers know they need this one. Also for the confidence behind Russell Wilson. Like, this will be another game where Russ can go out there with some extra weapons and show off. And another thing for you, though, Najee Harris versus B-Rob. This is another reason why you need this game, too. Because you need Najee to go off, man. I see y'all in the comments. Let me get this super chat up right quick. That's instigating. Shout out to the
actually agree with Carl. I put him at number 2 with the 18 for 18.
No, Ty got you, man. Coach, why you got golf at 5? We got time. Hashtag 18 for 18. He's on a whole new ESPN series over here.
His numbers don't lie, and it literally boosted his quarterback numbers.
But hold on, Ty. We gonna say
that helps your MVP status numbers.
Hey, y'all better be ready. Y'all better be ready. So with that being said, I think we all can agree that this game is way more important to the Steelers than it is the Commanders.
100%.
All right. Now,
I didn't think we were going to agree on that.
Me neither. Then I looked at the schedule. I said, schedule-wise, they needed more.
Mark, it was 15-17. How you dominate the whole game? Come on now. Let's be real. Let's
no, they did. I ain't going to lie. The Commanders did dominate that game, but if we done, let's keep it pushing. We can come back to it at the end.
Honestly, That was our last serious topic. The next topic we had was we want to do our Thursday segments where we do the upset alerts. However, we got 2 random topics that just came up.
Let's get it. If we got time, let's
get
it.
Right back here. We're gonna go right back here, and I'm gonna leave up the super chat. We ain't gotta come up with a thread or nothing like that. Coach, why you got golf at 5? We got time.
I had him at 5. I'm having him at 2. I have him at 2.
Okay, I'm just reading it. Yeah, I was just more so reading.
I know. I'm correcting Ty.
Got you.
I have him at 2. I moved him up to 2. I had him in the top 5, but after you gotta look at the numbers. With that 18 for 18, everything he's done thus far, and his turnovers are actually very, very low. He's number 2.
Okay.
Like if you look at Josh Allen, I have Josh Allen in fantasy, so his numbers aren't bad, but his numbers actually aren't very high at all. So I don't even think I'm actually confused why Josh Allen is in
number 1
MVP conversation.
Oh, you confused why he's an MVP? Period. Woohoo! I like this.
There we go.
Trust me. I have him as my quarterback, but I'm confused at why he's in MVP status. Like between 2 other running backs and other, there's some other quarterbacks that actually have higher numbers than if I'm not mistaken. Well, no, maybe coach is talking a little too erratic.
Hold on. You said why is Josh Allen in the MVP talks? I was looking at the comments. I gotta make sure I heard what I heard.
That's what he said. I mean, if you want, I don't. So this is what I'll say, right? I don't think Josh Allen should not be in MVP talks.
Right, and I'm not trying to knock him out of it.
I don't think he's the favorite at all.
No,
was tripping.
And that's why I'm like, there's other players that should be. If we're talking like top 5, if you're doing quarterbacks, I guess okay. But if we're taking like top 5, like throughout all positions, I don't think he should be up there.
So who should take his spot?
Two of the running backs that are actually. I mean, look at the running backs that are actually playing well this year. Between Kyron Williams, between Mark.
Kyron Williams not in it, bro. I'm sorry.
His numbers are a little too low because he doesn't have more than. I know. I'm just saying. I'm just giving him as an example. I'm just giving.
I get it. You giving him his flowers, but
there are other players who have flashier numbers than Josh Allen. And then if we're saying just top 5 quarterbacks, then I understand, and I can put Josh Allen at 4 or 5. But if we're saying top 5 overall, then I mean I think we're talking a little too early because again there are 2 running backs between Saquon and Derrick Henry who are playing outstanding football right now, whose numbers are consistently climbing, right? So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Where are we looking at it?
Let's do this then, because like you said, if we're going overall, you got 2 running backs there. So when we go back to quarterbacks, and I don't want to hop on what was said earlier, just for Jared Goff in the 18 for 18, but what if some people were arguing Josh Allen should be over Jared Goff because of how he plays this year? I said, what if someone threw that out there? Well, one, he hasn't thrown. Well, you already know what their number 1 argument is. He hasn't thrown any interceptions. He doesn't have that. I mean,
somebody finally caught him. He's been trying for weeks. Somebody finally caught it.
But he's been playing at a different level than he's been as far as protecting the football.
I got you. Somebody finally caught it.
And then most people will go back and look at Jared Goff and be like, well, you named it. He got the 2 running backs. The offense is there. The defense has been showing up in games. So why would Jared Goff be considered a top 5 MVP candidate when he got 2 of the best running backs, and you basically saying Lamar has Derrick Henry and Jalen Hurts has Saquon Barkley, who hurdles over people backwards?
You want my answer?
Mm-hmm.
So beside the 18 for 18, let's look at the Minnesota Vikings game. Minnesota comes at home, favored against the Lions. No, not Minnesota. The Lions have the lead. I believe they're up. They were up 3 or 4, whatever the case. They have the lead. They hand the ball off to David Montgomery to try to ice the game. David Montgomery fumbles the football, and the Vikings take it for a touchdown, now putting the Lions down 3. Jared Goff not only takes the Lions down to score, to score. He scores a touchdown and kills a lot of clock in the process, and I don't think he misses a pass in that process, and he wins them the game. That's an MVP moment. All right, that running game that y'all so-called say I need. Well, he failed me. He fumbled. I'm gonna go put the ball in my hands, and we're gonna go score. Right? Cool. Look at the amount of points that the Lions have been putting up. Lions have been putting up a tremendous amount of points. Now I get it. You're gonna go to the Titans game where they put up a lot of points. Jared Goff didn't do much. Fine. I'll concede that. Right? Let's talk about the record Jared Goff just broke. Jared Goff just broke Brock Purdy's QB rating record for 6 weeks. I think it's like 140 out of 158.3. That's a record broken. That's another record broken, I should say. He's also has a 75% completion percentage, and he's not dinking and dunking to do that. He's throwing the ball down the field. He's making tough throws. People like to say that it's timing throws, but he's still making the throws. That throw to Amon-Ra St. Brown against the Packers in the end zone on 4th and goal, that's not a timing throw. Amon-Ra said himself, I was strapped. I'm surprised he threw that, but he threw an amazing back shoulder, and I made that catch. He has another, Tomo. He has another back shoulder to Amon-Ra against the Cowboys.
They bad this year. You don't gotta say sorry. They bad.
On the right pile on. Jared Goff has been significantly accurate. And this is coming from a guy who was not a fan of Jared Goff. When the Lions traded for Jared Goff, I was pissed for my mother and grandfather. They'll tell you. But he has stepped his play up tremendously, and he has been playing at an MVP level. And he has been a major reason why the Lions are sitting at 7-1 and are one of the more explosive offenses in the NFL. Now, cool. That's explaining Jared Goff. Josh Allen. Josh Allen started off hot. First 3 games looked like it was his MVP to lose. Played 2 good teams. Played the worst football we have seen. And I'm not exaggerating because literally against the Texans, he played the worst football possible. Against the Ravens, they put up 10 points, 3 points at halftime, got blown out. Then he goes back to playing teams that's not as high competition, and he goes back to doing well. But this is the major thing as well. They went and got a receiver because they played, 6-7 games and figured Josh Allen can't do this by himself. He needs a receiver. They tried to do the Lamar approach. And it did not look good. So they went and got a guy. Sorry, not sorry. So I would put Jared Goff over Josh Allen for those reasons.
So I look at the numbers, right? Coach is a numbers guy. And again, I can see Goff in there, right? Mm-hmm. Per the package for Goff, right? I'd take it, but then when I look at the package for Allen, it's technically a little bit higher. Why? He has 17 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. He's known to turn over the ball every other down, and he only has 2 turnovers.
He has 2 interceptions. He got more turnovers.
Or 2 interceptions. Oh yeah, because he does fumble. Goff has 4, but he has 14 touchdowns. But see, this is where I get confused with even one of them at times because neither one of them have the yards. At least Lamar Jackson has 2,300 yards already, and he has 20 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. That's number 1 right there. I don't care what you say. That is number 1. You are the number 1. You are MVP hands down as of right now, unless you have inconsistencies between tonight and tomorrow, or next week because you're playing 2 back-to-back division games. Yep. But that's MVP. But when I'm looking at everybody else, that's why I'm like, could Goff arguably stay? Yeah. And could Allen arguably stay? Yeah. Right. But then I don't know because look at you got Geno Smith with 2,500 yards. You got Baker Mayfield who is playing ball. He is playing lights out football. No receivers. He got Todd Bowles as his defensive coordinator, so we know that's not going anywhere. And he's got more yards than Josh Allen. He got more touchdowns than Josh Allen and Jared Goff put together. He's at 23. He's at 23 touchdowns right now. Like his turnovers are literally because he is depleted in the offense, and he's still trying. He's still putting up numbers. So I'm really confused. And you got to look at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins 17 for 7 with 2,300 yards. I see Lamar, right? But I'm just saying there's so many other players that could bump out Goff and Allen.
All right.
Now maybe they're looked at as MVP and like higher at MVP, so both of them are on winning record teams.
So
like you got the Lions who are literally saying they're going literally to the Super Bowl right now. Like everything you look at them in the NFC right now, they're in the Super Bowl.
Here's the thing. Mark, I hope you wasn't talking about Lamar saying sounds like Dak, because the difference is Lamar has the resume. Dak did not have the resume, bro. It don't sound like Dak. Dak was killing bottom feeders and bad teams. Sorry again, Tom. I have to do it. But
kind of like their quarterback. Go ahead.
But Lamar is actually doing it against competition. This is not the same, bro. Also, I will say this. The no receivers notion with Baker Mayfield started like 2-3 weeks ago because, and I hate that my team was kind of, no, I'm not taking responsibility for Mike Evans. I'm not doing that because they played Mike Evans while he was hurt. But
you ain't gotta do that. They knew they shouldn't have. That was their fault.
Yeah, and I really don't want to take responsibility for Chris Godwin because they didn't really have a chance to win that game and they left him in there.
Yeah,
but I will partially
their coach decisions, Ty.
But I will partially take that one. But I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense has been playing well. I think the defense of the Bucs have been playing well. They're pretty decent. They lost their starting corner last year, and they've been pretty decent. I think Antoine Winfield been in and out the lineup this year as well. So I think the Bucs have been pretty well for what they've been going through. But yeah, in terms of Josh Allen and Jared Goff, I think it's quite clear that Jared Goff's in front of Josh Allen.
Before you answer that, Coach, I want what's going on with Todd Bowles, man? What Todd Bowles do?
This ain't nothing new. This ain't shocking. I've never had. Are you serious? Do we really need to go on a history lesson back when this man was the Jets coach and did nothing? That's cool.
I would like to hear it.
Todd Bowles is not a good coach. He has never been a good coach.
Oh, you mean a head coach? Okay.
Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator under Bruce Arians, and he blitzed a quarterback that had turf toe and 2 starting offensive linemen down. I would have sent the house too. And then after that, he's done nothing. Nothing. That defense looks like the Tampa 2 defense on the Todd Bowles. It always looked like. Look here. Y'all can say what y'all want to say about Todd Bowles. The only reason why they have the wins that they have is because Baker Mayfield and the 2 best receivers, who both have 5 touchdowns apiece. These boys was rocking on offense with 3 running backs. You couldn't stop them. And that defense was doing what this season? I don't know, coughing up touchdowns. And it wasn't like they was stopping anybody. And let's look at what happened when both receivers went off. Oh, I don't know. They just went and lost back-to-back. While Baker Mayfield's still looking good, what has the defense done? Nothing. Okay? He looked good against the number 1 defensive Chiefs. He looked good against the number 1 defensive Chiefs, and they did nothing. What else can that offensive do? He has nobody on offense. That defense gave no help. No help. They don't help, bro. They give up too many touchdowns. Go look at the scores. It's not like the Bucs are holding people under 17 points. No, they're not. They're not top 10. They're like, what, 18th? Maybe.
I'm about to check for you.
Defense?
I'm about to check for you. You do your thing. I'm just letting you know I'm checking for you.
You said hell people under 18?
What team can't throw on the Bucs?
The Eagles, the Broncos, the Lions one game. I'm just saying.
And what's the Bucs record?
The Bucs hold on.
After the receivers went down?
Right now.
That's not really fair, though. If they top 2 weapons go down, a lot of guys can't bounce back from that.
Good, bro. That defense is not good at all. That team had winning games because of Baker and that offense. That's it.
But when they went up against for their situations they've been facing, they have been pretty well. And their best player has been in and out the lineup. They lost their best corner, traded to the Lions. And I'm not saying that the Bucs defense has been exceptional. They've been over the top.
And I'm not coming at the Bucs
situation. Vita Vea been in and out the lineup as well?
Well, better managed under someone else than Todd Bowles is what I'm saying. A Todd Bowles ran defense is never successful. That's all I'm saying. I've never seen it successful in all my life.
I don't know about that one. If you want to say that this year they ain't really help, I mean, I think it's because of the situation they've been. People have been in and out the lineup, things of that nature. Cool, whatever. Injuries happen. But I think for their situation, they've been pretty decent, pretty well for their situation.
With Baker Mayfield and the receivers that they've had, yes. But that the defense has not been helpful for this team. And I'm telling you, you will notice it now. Without all this offense, you're gonna notice the defense ain't gonna be able to do nothing.
Well, I see. I had to look up the game and see what Joe was talking about. Yeah, that first time they played the Falcons, Kirk Cousins threw for like 509. He had a field day.
What the
And
fuck
then he
is
did it again.
no.
And then he not at 5, but then
Trailed.
he whooped them again. So they're down in that division, literally to the Falcons. They have no way of climbing out. They're gonna keep, and they're gonna probably lose to the Saints.
Looking at the box score, they started. We say first quarter. Tampa Bay was up 10. Atlanta had 7. Again, I don't know when they scored these, but the game was like.
I thought the Bucks were trailing, and the Falcons had to throw to get back in it.
Nah, they can't. At
Bucks
the end of the they did.
The Bucks were winning, and the Falcons had to throw to get back in it.
24-17, then it was
and
20,
went to overtime and won it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But that doesn't make their defense good. A good defense would not have allowed that to happen. Again, a good defense.
Hey man, I seen the number 1 defense in the league last year allowed to happen to Deshaun Watson. That's all I'm saying.
Carl,
I'll give you one game.
I seen that. I seen it happen to I seen him let Kenny Pickett do it. Kenny Pickett did it the same year.
It doesn't take away what they are. It's just like everybody was hyped on these Minnesota Vikings. For what? They had 5. What? Because they won 5 in a row. Right after that bye week, watch them do just like this here.
They won 2 since the bye, but
they're 1 and 2 after the bye.
Yeah, they're 1 and 2. But first of all, the Commanders with JD, didn't the Commanders score a garbage touchdown late in the game to get to 20 points?
Which one you talking? You talking about Joe Comment right here?
Yeah, didn't they score a late game touchdown that didn't matter? I'm looking right here. They scored a touchdown with a minute 12 down 14-37 to get to 20 points.
When they played the Bucks, right?
Yes.
A good team, right?
I'm not going there with you, bro. I'm just saying. If you want to count that last 1 minute 12 game out of reach, you're down 23 points with a minute 12 left. Count it.
They gotta count it because they say JD 5 for MVP. You gotta count the touchdowns. Remember that goes back to the statistical year that he's having. Because remember they scored points on every drive for like the first 5 games. You can't knock that.
I'm just being consistent, bro. If Dak would have did it, I'd have called it garbage time too.
I mean, look, we're not talking about the Cowboys right now.
No, I'm just saying I'm being consistent in my stance.
I got you. You say,
look, see, even Ty Bowles a terrible head coach, but DC,
that's what I said.
Yeah, under the right person. He was under Bruce Arians. Of course, he was good. Come on now.
But Bruce Arians is an offensive guy, but that's what I'm saying. If he was a head coach, I'm with you. I remember that still with the Jets.
People gave credit for. I think Bruce Arians is more of an all-around coach that people get credit for. He wasn't just.
He's a players coach who's a really good offensive coach.
I think he's more of an all-around defense. He's more offense and defense. I think he had a mix of both. I
disagree. I think Bruce Arians is an offensive guy who's a players coach.
You have to know what players you putting on the field for one. So he has to have It's almost like you can look at Salza and say you have like no mind for the offense. Because look at how wonderful that defense was, and he could do nothing to put this offense together at all. He's not running the offense as a coordinator would, but he could not put together the proper pieces for this offense to run.
They also didn't have good OCs either, and they dealt with quarterback.
That's true, but again, that means you as the head coach got to be better. You're the leader, not the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but head coaches deal with what to call it, managing the game. There we go. Couldn't think of the word. Head coach deals with managing the game. I get player personnel, but all that is mainly OCs, running back coaches, receiver coaches, stuff like that. Head coaches deal with managing the game and putting together a game plan.
If that was the case, then Belichick should have been fired, and the fat one should have been the head coach. That defense looked good. Everybody thought it was that defensive coordinator. He went to the Detroit Lions as the head coach, and what happened?
Oh, Matt Patricia. Okay, hold on. We can get into that.
He wasn't good. It was Belichick.
That's what I'm saying. We can get into that. He shouldn't have been. First of all, the Lions' job shouldn't have been open in the first place.
Facts.
How do you get fired after making the playoffs?
That's very true. That's very true.
That job should never been open. Jim Caldwell should have still been the head coach. So that was just the Lions being stupid. Nobody thought that Matt Patricia was the engine that made the Patriots go, but the Lions. And as you can see, they weren't necessarily the brightest after firing a coach that took you to the playoffs two out of the last 4 years, which besides the Detroit Lions now, when has that happened?
It's like Kyle Shanahan. He's brilliant on both sides of the ball, and everybody that goes and leaves under his tree, look at how one-sided they are. He can put both sides of the ball together and run. He still needs his coordinator.
That one either.
No. What I'm saying is personnel-wise, he can structurally put together the team while the offensive coordinators run the team. But what I'm saying is, look at the coordinators that leave under him. Look, I'm saying he's enough to be the head coach that he's not fired yet. Like, you're not looking at Shanahan and saying he's a terrible head coach. He shouldn't be the head coach. No, you're looking at him and saying, "Oh, what move are you going to make? What are you going to
say? Dave about to show up.
Unless one of y'all been calling for his job.
Now, hold on, Coach. I'm gonna tell you like this. I've been in some Cowboy spaces with a 49er fan. I've been doing this show for almost 3 years, and I know another 49er fan that can't stand Kyle Shanahan. They call him Shanna Stans for the folks that keep saying he need to stay around. So Dave is somewhere typing as fast as he can. I've been calling for his job for a while now. Like, they do. There's some 49er fans that cannot stand Kyle Shanahan, bro. Like, they want him to go.
But as an organization, he knows how to find a running back. He knows how to find receivers. He knows how to find defensive players. Like, he knows how to structurally put together a team. That is what the head coach's job is. It's embarrassing if the head coach is the play caller. Do you want to know why? That means somebody on that team doesn't know how to do their job. That's the embarrassing part. If he does not have to make calls, that's the good thing. That means the offensive coordinators are structurally running the team that he built. That's how that works.
Go ahead, Carl.
The only thing the head coach needs to do is make halftime adjustment or in-game adjustments. That he's a little bit quicker in the mind to make, because why? He structurally built it. Why? Who fails if it fails? The head coach, not the offensive or defensive coordinator.
That's okay, cool. All right, so cool. I hear you, right? But who fails if the players don't actually perform well? You're gonna say the head coach, but the GM is the guy that brings the guys in.
The player coaches perform. That's a player. I can't put it with a player. You're talking about performance. That's a player thing.
But coaches often get blamed for that. They say, "Why you don't put them in the right spot? Why you got him playing this?"
No, that's not player performance. That's negligence on the coaching. For instance, right? Do you know what my biggest stint about? I hate to go off on one, but you know my biggest stint about.
We got this freestyle.
It wasn't that Davion Clowney was bad. It was just the fact that they kept putting him in bad positions. He should have never been a defensive end. He should have been a defensive tackle his entire career. It would have been so much structure.
I can't agree with that. He just had
not to have where was the advantage for him with his size and power? Where was the advantage for him on the outside?
He just had a career year with us being on the outside.
Yeah, 15 yards after this running back got the first down. Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney got the tackle. He's the fastest defensive on the team. He's in the wrong position for the Texans, which means he should have never been a Texan. You see what I'm saying? That's where that's why I didn't clarify. He was structurally incorrect on the Texans. If you look at how that team was built, he should have been a defensive tackle. He would have wreaked more havoc on the team because of his power and what they already had built there. You're trying to put him on the other side of
JJ Watt.
He was not that kind of player.
But they had Vince Wilfork at that time.
Yeah.
I think
he was there for a while.
I'm not sure. And if they did,
Vince Wilfork, because he was on the Texas Hard Knocks.
The problem was they were trying to play him at linebacker. That was the problem. They were trying to play Clowney at linebacker.
Yeah, because that's what he played South Carolina. But he should have been an end outside of JJ.
To me, I wouldn't have ever done as a head coach. There's no way I'm putting him at that position. I would have gotten more success from him putting him directly on the line. I would have gotten fumbles. No running back would have ever come up the middle. Everything would have gone outside. There's just no way. FFC, how do you feel about the Mike Williams trade?
Shout out to Joe with the 199.
He did that on purpose.
I know.
He did. I know he did.
I know. I was gonna ask him anyway, Joe, but thank you, Joe.
It's weird. I like it because
I know that's why I was like, say what?
I like it because he won't be the number one there. He's gonna be like the second, third option. So I like it.
Oh, can I speak on it? I like it too.
It opens up the Pittsburgh's offense a lot more than people would think. So, and they're running the ball with Najee Harris very, very well. He's already got Pickens, and you're adding a weapon like this to him, and he's got Pat Fairmouth out there. So, I actually do like it. If you're a fantasy owner of Mike Williams, you might be a little bit happy. 17 points.
17.
I'm telling you, he could average. 80 yards. 80 yards.
Average 80.
He could average 80 yards in a touchdown with Russell Wilson and this offense and the way that you got to think, right? You got to think. The minute Russell Wilson stepped on the field, what happened with Pickens?
I don't even think Pickens is averaging 80.
He averaged 100 yards on his first game.
Are you serious? Is he? Wait, I
He
can't see
averaged
that.
100
No.
yards.
I was just saying he on my team, so I hope Coach right.
He averaged 100 yards that first game with Russell Wilson. He
No,
hadn't averaged 100 yards all season. And he did that first game with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm saying now you're adding Mike Williams into that mix. Najee Harris's running lanes have already opened up more because Russell Wilson is throwing the ball better with that offense. So, yeah, I think Mike Williams with this team on average in fantasy could average 17 points a game.
All right. Now, Carl, I'm going to let you because I know Carl want to go watch this game. We got like 3 minutes left. Carl, I know you wanted to say something about being a number one receiver right quick. So you can say that, and then let's get our last words so we can get on up out of here. Man, this was good.
I don't know about number one. I do like the trade for Mike Williams. I think it is a good piece. It does add another deep threat. It allows, I think, to be honest, what it does, besides letting George Pickens, operate more so in intermediate to short, I think it might allow Calvin Austin to get more going intermediate to short. Maybe again.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it's kind of good for Calvin Austin as well. But I can't roll with averaging 80 yards a game and a touchdown. I can't roll.
I knew it was something.
No, not that a game. I'm saying he could average 7 in fantasy purposes. As I say, people who have him in fantasy, you can be looking at 17 points.
I know I ain't playing fantasy this year.
That's between 60 to 80 yards a game. That's about 7. Because remember, it's PPR. That's between 7 to 8 catches a game. I'll say 5 to 7. 7 to 8 is too high. 5 to 7 is more reasonable. And if you add a touchdown to that, which he's a red zone threat, no matter where you look at it. You yourself have proven that to me.
I like Mike Williams. This is why I'm saying it's insane.
With this offense, and with it's not like he's the only receiver, so they're not coke bottling him. You have to double team George Pickens at all times. So yeah, this offense is going to open up a bit where Mike Williams can get very active in this.
You don't got to double George Pickens.
But you can just put Jordan Lewis. You can just put Jordan Lewis out there, and then that'll throw us out there.
Not giving no Come on, you want to get away, bro. You want to get away.
All right, let's get these last words in, man. Hey, fellas, man, this was great. This was entertaining. I'm glad we could actually just have that whole block where we could just actually just talk some football and get some stuff off our chest. But this show is this is the R2L show, but this is also a network, and both you guys have a show on the network. So including with the last words, tell people where they can find you, how they need to subscribe, and what the show is about for the new folks that's tuning in.
I'll go first. All right, so appreciate y'all for having me as always. My show, CTC, Carl Talking College, is college football and college basketball. We are now currently at week 11 in college football. We are on day 4 of college basketball. First week, it started on Monday. Michigan State 1-0, but we played Monmouth, so it don't really matter. We actually played Niagara tonight at 8 o'clock. We won't watch it, but go Spartans. We got some matchups actually in college basketball. I think we got Houston, Auburn Saturday. We got Kansas, North Carolina tomorrow. So we got some nice little matchups early. Oh, we got Michigan, Wake Forest on Sunday. I need you, Joe. I need the Demon Deacons to beat Michigan. But other than that, man, I do my previews, my recaps. Don't ask me certain times or certain dates because I don't have one for you. Just, subscribe, click the bell, and when I go live, check it out. Because I can go live as early as 6 a.m, and I can go live as late as midnight at night. So just check me out. Great for having me. And go Ravens. Let's go. Let's get a dub tonight. Let's go Flock. I'm about to go get my wings, and I'm settling in.
All right, Coach.
All right, so my name is Coach. You can find me on the best fantasy show that's out there right now, FFC Fantasy Football with Coach. My final thoughts. What now, Ty Bowles? I'm going to say that every single week. You don't have Mike Williams. You don't have Chris Godwin. You using Sterling Shepard. You got 3 running backs on the field. You have no idea what you are doing with this team offensively. And Baker Mayfield is making you look like you think you know what you're doing. But you have lost 2 straight as the head coach of a depleted offense. What now, Tybo? What you gonna do now? Tell me, what's your excuse? You didn't get anything in the trade. You there's nothing in free agency for you to just scoop up. Okay, so you got to pretty much just ride with what you got, right? What now? What is the answer for it now? Go ahead and lose this week. Lose to the Saints so I can have fun with that. Is it the Saints that they play this week?
49ers.
And C-Mac playing too.
Now, because you're going to lose to the 49ers. But when that Saints game get here, oh, that's the one I can't wait for because they are horrible. All they have is Alvin Kamara and he about to put a 40 on you in fantasy because you are an absolutely horrible coach. I'm sorry. You sit there with that stupid smirk on your face with no answers when you lose, but you got all the smiles in the world when Baker's out there making you look fantastic, but you ain't got no answers. You just sitting there. I can't even do the smirk because it's so stupid. I don't know. That's how bad it is. I've been looking at it since you were a Jet and you had no answers whatsoever to the losses that you consume each and every week. So now, what now? What you gonna do now? I got answers. I need answers, Pimp.
Can I speak real quick? I agree with Coach as an AC because I don't think that got cleared up. As a head coach, I don't think Todd Bowles is that good either. But as a DC, a D coordinator, I think he's a good defensive coordinator. I don't think I ever got a chance to clear that up.
What you gonna do now? That's all I'm gonna say, man. Make sure y'all tune in to FFC to find out what Todd Bowles gonna do next. And make sure y'all tune in to CTC, man. College basketball is ramping up. College football, the college playoffs, there's a lot going on over there. And with R2L, my last words is shout out to everybody on the network. It's always good when I can have folks from the network on the main show. I gotta do more of you guys' show. Like, Coach, I gotta find some time out in the morning because I know you do your episodes in the morning. I gotta get on one of those episodes, man. My fantasy football team has been blessed by the fantasy football gods.
Oh yeah, you gotta take an appearance. Absolutely.
Now, if Stat Stuffers, aka Vaughn, can lose this weekend and I win, I can create some separation with that number one spot. Because right now, him and Mark, they on my back. But outside of that, man, make sure y'all come back tomorrow. We got a 5 episode for you. Go ahead. What you got for me?
Mark, he lost, the best receiver in the league, Stephon Diggs. So he may not have no worries the rest of the season at all.
But you right about that because he played somewhere when it was cold and then it didn't go the way that he wanted it to go. But also,
after we did, you really wouldn't have had to worry about him anyway.
Yeah, you got a point there, but CeeDee Lamb fell on his shoulder, so I got to deal with that. But outside of that, I don't have too much to say about the Dallas Cowboys because the media is saying it already, but I do got one message for James Jones. When you say somebody quit, man, you might want to think about it before you actually say things like that. Because I know you dealt with a hamstring, but if you don't know the grade of hamstring injury, you just can't come out and say somebody quit on their team, bro. Like, at the end of the day, football is football. Every injury is different for every person. So, again, you could run your routes with your hamstring like that. However, that hamstring came off the bone. And technically, they didn't give him 60 mil, so ice up, son. And with that being said, these are the last words. We gonna get on up out of here because the Ravens about to play.
Man, I gotta get them wings. Let's go, wrap it up, B.
I got you, man. I got you. I'm trying to see how I do all this new stuff, man. We got these gadgets over here.
That was a reference, Tomo.
Here. I know.
Hey, Joe asked a question. He said, any special advice for Teddy?
Joe.
Hey, come on, Joe. We gotta wrap this up. Joe. Wrap it up, B. Hey, you should have asked that question earlier.
Just win, baby.
I was gonna say trade, but
I was gonna say do your job.
You don't want to trade with me, so all right, y'all. We out.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.